don't want to say anything that's going to get myself or you guys in trouble for it being on your channel, but uh, where the fuck do we go from here?
Thomas Frank, it seems.
Would you prefer him or would you prefer Ange? Would you prefer a proven winner or someone who, yet again, is resetting the whole, well, 18 months, 2 years cycle that we've been in since a certain hero of the club left, who, in my eyes, is still nowhere near as much of a hero as Ange. He gave me the ability to watch a final whilst my granddad was still alive, as I've told you guys. Ange has done so much more for me than anyone else at this club. I'm distraught.
I kind of saw it coming, even though I didn't want it to. You know why? Because I remember after we had won the match in Bilbao, Postecoglou said something in the press conference that it piqued my interest. He said that he kind of did this despite a lot of the figures at the club not agreeing with the kind of direction that he was doing, prioritizing the Europa League over the Premier League. And he said, and I actually thought it was a very like important statement. A lot of people didn't like notice it, but I actually think it said a lot about. I think he at some point in the season was like, no, like screw this. I'm gonna do this my way, and I'm gonna do what the fans want, which is a trophy. And I actually think this is reinforced in the club statement, which, by the way, is an absolute piss take. Like, I think it's a disgrace saying that, oh, we want a manager who can kind of compete on every single front. That's nonsense. Like, you have to spend the money to build a squad that's fit to do that.
Oh, I'm fuming, mate. Absolutely fuming. I mean, you read the statement. They say competing on all fronts. Well, half of them is good. It's not just the Europa League we competed in. We was 120 minutes away from the Carabao Cup.
Yeah.
In my opinion, that's competing in another competition. So multiple fronts, he did that.
Yeah, but as like they say competing on multiple fronts, but have they ever given the manager the tools to really compete on multiple fronts anyway?
No, they haven't. No, they haven't. I've said it all year. All year. You can't sign two senior players in 2 seasons and fill the rest of the squad out with kids and expect anything extra, anything else.
Yeah, so I haven't spoken to you guys since before we ended up winning the Europa League. And it's so jarring being at the top of the mountain and then 2 weeks later now being in the dumps. I don't think that it was the right decision personally, getting rid of Ange Postecoglou. I was so patient, I felt like, throughout the season. This is the manager, this is the manager. And then once we decided to, or once we had equaled the record for most losses in club history, that was the last straw for me. I was like, yeah, this is not working. And then we end up winning the Europa League, and I'm like, okay, this guy definitely deserves a second or a third season. And now that the day has finally come that he's no longer going to be our manager, I'm really sad, honestly.
I can't believe it, bro. We just won the trophy. I was tearing up the city, and then now I see that he's gone. What are we doing? I don't know if this is a try not to win challenge, or I don't know what's going on, man. Because wow, I can't believe I'm actually shocked. It's like 9 a.m. here, 10 a.m. here. I woke up and I seen it. I was like, yeah, it's not true. It can't be. I went back to sleep. I woke up and I seen the live here, and it says sacked. What? What are we doing? Like, this is not right, bro. Like, we should at least gave him the beginning of next season for sure. At least. Bare minimum. Bare minimum. And then seeing what would have happened. Because the momentum was with us. The fans were all together. Everybody was happy. We even got big man Ben to say Ange in, bro. Even Ben to say Ange in. Man like Stell, Danny.
Even Ben.
Like, my guy Stell I haven't seen, that guy hasn't smiled since 86. He was smiling. Like, like, oh, oh man. Like, what are we doing? Like, now we're gonna.
There's one line I want to ask you about. He says, it's crucial that we are able to compete on multiple fronts and believe a change of approach will give us the strongest chance in the coming seasons. What do you think of the club saying that?
Change of approach, giving us a strong. We've been doing this for since Levy came, bro. What do you mean change? It should have been Ange. Ange is the one that brought change. Trophy in 17 years. Europa League trophy since 84. Like, this is our guy in my opinion, bro. We should at least give him next season. This was the guy. Like he was the guy, bro. Like that's all I have to say. Like this guy Levy, bro. This fudge, man. This Minions guy grew. What are we doing?
What about
Yo.
Frank? What about Frank? Do you think he's a good manager? Do you think he could maybe do something here?
Obviously, I'd rather have Ange, but I hope he can. I know I heard you guys talking earlier in this, like he might be the perfect guy for Levy. You know, probably doesn't want too many transfers. Will probably try to handle what he's been given because he went to a Brentford side that's they're not going to spend money, obviously. So he knows how to deal with teams that what they give him. You know, so that's not the type of manager you want mentality wise. You want a manager that can bring the big players in and then use them. But obviously, you still want him to be able to use what he has. But hopefully he's successful. I'll support him as long as he's the manager. But he's gonna be coming to a tough time at Spurs now, bro. It was just a good time 16 days ago. Now it's gonna be tragic times, you know.
Tragic. Nathan.
Yeah. It's even a hard time for me, Nathan. You know, someone that's been Ange out for so long.
Yeah.
I was fully back on board, and as soon as I'm fully back on board, that's it. You're gone.
He does it. That's what Levy does, bro. But Sim, big up Sim. You know, we've been there since the beginning.
We've been there together, bro.
Shout out Ben as well. He came to realize, you know, even Danny.
Anytime we were batting away these Ange outers for months and months.
Yeah, they got the win.
We got that trophy. We got the win, and then
yes, sir.
And now here it is. It's a tragic end to a great story.
It is. It's like losing a girl, man. Fuck. It doesn't feel good, does it?
Either Daniel Levy is some kind of like Disney villain, or he just has a completely tapped idea of what footballing success looks like and the resources that you need to get there. There's just like he's completely tapped. There's just no way that it marries up.
Yeah, I just think his way, like the way they've the statement they've made is just like their way of taking accountability out of themselves for their own failures, isn't it? Saying it's all Ange's fault we haven't been able to compete on multiple fronts, and it's all Ange's fault all this stuff has happened. Whereas a lot of the reasons is what manager has been able to compete on multiple fronts at this football club? No one. So how is it on Ange that he's the only one who decided to prioritise the cups over the league and won one?
It's either or. With the budget that we're on, it's either or. You either have European success in a bad league or other way around. So you get what you're given, regardless of who the manager is. Unless we get like a generational manager that somehow just knocks it out of the park, it's just never going to happen for us. And they only come around, and then even then, Levy will probably just sell them on for profit as soon as we get them. So I just don't see us going anywhere.
Well, let's think logically. Ange won a trophy with one arm tied to his back. We've given him like the club. I was saying the club has not given him a proper transfer window. Maybe just a couple good signings, tactful signings. But that's it. That's literally it. We need more. He literally ran out of steam during the winter when everybody was injured. We literally ran out of players. We ran out of steam. And then you just expect him to thinking about like Levy, firing him, or the board firing him. They expect him to just still win when we have nobody that is proven or people who have still yet to prove themselves. Like there's levels to this. Like you asked the impossible for him. He did the impossible in terms of winning a trophy. For us, that was a pipe dream. Mm-hmm. That was a complete pipe dream for us. And now it's real. And he's just like, no. We want this. We want that. I'm like, yes, but we had to make sacrifices. We had to make sacrifices to prioritize at least a trophy.